Welcome, folks. I'm Jabby Kuwait, joined by Steph Sabra. What up, brah?
What up?
And Steph Sabra is an official member of the Whirl Girls. If you guys would like to go check out that YouTube channel, where they give everything a whirl. That's not a joke. That's how she pitched it to me.
Perfect.
So, Spider-Man No Way Home trailer. Tobey and Andrew removals confirmed from New Rockstars. Thank you, New Rockstars, for allowing us to react to this. If you guys haven't already subscribed to New Rockstars, there's a link in the description below for the original video that we're about to watch. Click on that link, hit the original with an upvote, please. Also, subscribe here, bell icon, all notifications. Please vote this up. Let YouTube know you're enjoying what you're watching. I'm kind of hungry. Here we go.
Always hungry.
Welcome back to New Rockstars. I'm Eric Voss, and Spider-Man No Way Home's newest trailer confirms a bit about this movie's surprise cameos, but in one big case, an even bigger secret, completely by accident, it looks like. By now, you may have seen a Brazilian version of the trailer in which, as Electro, Sandman, and the Lizard leap across the scaffolding towards Spider-Man in the movie's apparent final battle, Lizard dives like he's in a World Cup semifinal. Yeah, it's a bizarre recoil. He is struck by some invisible object that can only be explained by Ant-Man, by Papa Feige sniping him for spoilers, or most likely the presence of Andrew Garfield Spider-Man and Tobey Maguire Spider-Man in this shot, but scrubbed from the trailer footage.
Are you sure about that? And his name is John C.
It makes sense. 3 versus 3 would be much better composition than 1 versus 3. Lizard is clearly jumping towards something in a different spot than Tom Holland's Peter Parker is. And not only that, I'm pretty sure I found even more visual evidence that more things were removed from this moment of the trailer. So Tobey,
okay, real quick, I forgot, because he made it like a Street Fighter joke, right?
Towards Spider-Man in the movie's apparent final battle, Lizard dives like he's in a World Cup semifinal. Yeah, it's a bizarre recoil. He is struck by some invisible object.
Yeah.
Okay, so I had actually made the joke before this video dropped that maybe he was down here to uppercut strike Spider-Man. You know, he's trying to find a new way in.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
New way home.
New way home. Oh, nice. You know, he's not coming at him direct. He's trying to take a different approach, you know? In terms of the aesthetic, that actually kind of makes sense if you look at this. Like, it looks like Sandman's not even looking directly at this particular Spider-Man. Might be looking at a different one somewhere over here. And then Lizard Dude is down there. What's he doing down there? Spider-Man's way over here.
Yeah.
Sense no makey.
It is clearly jumping towards something in a different spot than Tom Holland's Peter Parker is. And not only that, I'm pretty sure I found even more visual evidence that more things were removed from this moment of the trailer. So Tobey and Andrew's existence in this movie, while still not confirmed by the filmmakers, it's just a foregone conclusion in the minds of most fans.
Yeah.
So at this point, I am honestly less excited by their mere possible presence in this film than I now am by why they are actually in this movie and what that tells us about the broadening multiverse going forward. But let's start with a closer look at the shot in question. Peter leaps from the head of the Statue of Liberty toward Electro, Sandman, and Lizard, who attack from the surrounding scaffolding. Peter seems to be aiming directly for Sandman, while Sandman hooks his fist around from Peter's left, which tracks with the next shot of Peter dodging that sand fist and then barrel rolling over it before he dives. But not only does the Lizard recoil from some invisible hit in the Brazilian trailer, Lizard is lined up to strike someone in a completely different spot than Peter is. But also, so is Electro. Go through this frame by frame. You can see Electro is also pulling back his arm for a strike against someone who is above where Peter is. And then when Peter does that dive in the next shot, you can see Electro still above, continuing to engage someone else with an electric blast. But then, because I'm a crazy person who scrubbed through this footage even more closely, I found even more evidence of possibly removed assets around Peter during this battle. In the shot of Peter leaping off the Statue of Liberty head, if you look to the region to the right of Peter, there is definitely an upward moving smoky motion blur on the background rim of that giant cap shield, as if something was here leaping out of frame.
I done looked at that shot like 8 times. Every time he shows it, I can't see shit. Can you?
No.
I can't see anything. I'm like, I feel stupid like I'm looking at a fucking magic eye. I'm like, okay, show me again.
Yeah, I know. I feel like I'm like driving with fog on my windshield. I can't quite see it.
Here's the thing. After watching Eternals at the premiere, Eric Voss was there, and I was like, yo, man, there was so much that you said that happened in this movie. It was scary how accurate he was.
From just the trailer.
Yeah, well, I mean, he's deducing from the trailers and like analyzing the footage and whatnot. I don't know if it's just him or him and a team, but he's looking at like the comics, the material, the source material and whatnot, and he's like putting all this together. There were predictions he made, and so many of those predictions were freaking accurate. And so here, every time I watch him, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna assume he's right for the most part. And so I'm assuming he's right. I just can't see what he's seeing.
Yeah.
Removed, and when they had to pencil back in what was behind it, some of the motion blur stayed. Also, this one's a bit harder to see, but over on the left side of the same shot, a similar motion blur seems to be distorting the tip of Lady Liberty's spiky crown. So yeah, two things leaping upward right before Tom Holland Peter Parker does. Now, I thought this was just digital noise, but the distortion does not appear on any other regions of the frame or on the shot before this of Peter landing on the statue head, which you'll notice does cut to black as if to mask two other figures landing on either side of Peter right after he lands, who would then leap off right before he leaps. Now, when you go back to the wide collision shot, everything in frame is moving with debris, lightning, sand. You can't really discern any extraordinary motion blur, except there is a subtle, odd downward sweep of Sandman's sand at the bottom of the frame, like someone wafted it downward in that blank region that the lizard is approaching. Now, there's also this random detail a lot of you keep asking me about, this brown shape that's hanging from the scaffolding to the left of Ned as MJ falls. Some say this could be an arm of some Peter Parker that wasn't fully erased. To be honest, I don't see how this is an arm.
That looks like rope to me.
Looks like a bundle of rope to me.
Yeah.
And like, if a VFX artist goes to the effort to erase an asset, they don't get tired halfway through and then decide to recolor it brown. So I don't know what this is. I just don't think it's another Spider-Man.
It's fine.
Now, 2 months ago, after Andrew Garfield discussed some rumored set leaks from No Way Home on The Tonight Show with Jimmy Fallon, we here at New Rockstars did a VFX analysis on some online claims over whether or not the set footage of Garfield was doctored. Now, I won't show that full footage here, but I will tell you, it does seem to match the scaffolding that surrounds the Statue of Liberty in.
That's what I was trying to tell you earlier today. Steph Sabra has not seen any of that leak. She has deliberately been like sticking her head deep into the sand, like 3 feet. She's like, I don't hear anything. No.
Surprise me.
Leaks? What? No.
Don't exist to me.
Leaks? Plug it up.
No, call a plumber.
You know?
Not dealing with it.
Exactly. And so, yeah, but like I was thinking to myself, like the scaffolding footage of Andrew Garfield matches that area, that set.
Okay, yeah.
But beyond the visuals of this scene, there are some contextual clues in the trailer that help us understand why Tobey and Andrew would even show up in this movie. Obviously, MJ falls from the scaffolding in slow motion that closely mirrors Gwen Stacy's death drop in The Amazing Spider-Man 2. And while the trailer very clearly makes it seem like it's Tom Holland in his new Spidey suit reaching out for MJ here, it also does read like a chance for Andrew Garfield to redeem himself by saving MJ. And if they could scrub and swap out other stuff in this trailer, it's not too hard to imagine a different Spider-Man hand reaching down in the theatrical version. Also, there's a line where Doc Ock sees Tom Holland's face and says,
You're not Peter Parker.
Reminding us that some Tobey Maguire Peter Parker exists somewhere in this merged Spider-Verse. Also, Peter mentions his spider bite to MJ. Not that big of a deal, but it is something that has only come up once in the MCU before this, and it seemed like the MCU was just gonna move on from Peter's origin, but hearing it now suggests that this line could be setting up this Peter finally detailing his superhero origin in No Way Home, which could come in the form of a conversation with other Peter Parkers whose varying bites, Uncle Ben deaths, and web shooting abilities are something we're all eager for them to compare notes on. Ultimately, I think this could tell us why alternate Peters could be so important to cross over into the MCU. Not just to blow our minds, it's gonna do that, but Peter needs to learn from other versions of himself that it is impossible to have it all. Something Tobey Maguire Peter learned in his movies, and that sometimes you might be unable to save someone you love, which Andrew Garfield Peter Parker learned in his movie. I mean, the fact that this battle restages Gwen Stacy's death drop with MJ hints that a key mechanism for Andrew and Tobey's returns will be to give these past Peter Parkers one last chance to redeem their biggest mistakes. For Andrew Peter, that was letting Gwen die, obviously. And for Tobey Peter, that was letting his mentors die, lying to his best friend, letting vengeance open him up to toxic influences, and turning his Mary Jane against him.
It's like stacked so much
Everything.
more.
Yeah, everything.
Also, he cheated on his taxes.
He's been running from the IRS for years.
He left Aunt May at the bus stop too long. Like,
Uncle
just
Ben
stacking it up.
is just still mad.
God damn.
How could you?
It's like, okay, so, you know, the Andrew Garfield one, he's got one thing, and then Tobey Maguire's got like 18,000 things.
Redemption. It's redemption season.
He also did a Dutch oven with MJ. She did not appreciate that.
She really didn't.
Yeah.
She just did her hair.
While MJ forgave Peter in that final scene, they don't kiss, they don't get engaged. It's really a muddy, we're still working through this kind of ending. One of the reasons I think Sam Raimi's Spider-Man 3 is super underappreciated and a potential mixed bag of a future for that version of Peter Parker that this movie could revisit. Like, imagine Tobey Maguire Peter Parker never truly fixed things with MJ, and he now counsels Tom Holland Peter Parker, a younger Peter, to just retire early, enjoy a normal college life, despite that pretty crappy advice Mr. Stark gave you in Civil War. When bad things happen, they don't always happen because of you, kid. You deserve your own life. So while many of us are expecting to hear the line, "with great power comes great responsibility" in No Way Home, it wouldn't surprise me to hear Tobey Maguire Peter Parker offer a more evolved take on that famous adage that only an experienced Spider-Man could speak with authority on. That really, our greatest responsibility is knowing when to give up that power. So this idea of learning from the past, one universe building on the knowledge gained from other universes, I think that's gonna be the driving theme as the MCU expands into a multiverse of cooperative cross-universe team-ups like the Spider-Verse, like the Captain Britain Corps, like the Fantastic Four, arguably what Kang has already accomplished with the Council of Kangs.
That was thorough. I liked it, yeah.
That was really good. It's crazy because when he says things, I'm like, it seems like, why didn't I think of that? And it's like, no, I couldn't have thought of that, but I appreciate you for thinking of that, and it makes so much sense.
You could give it a whirl.
Yeah, I could really try to break down frame by frame and then study when VFX is taken out and then put back in.
There's something he left out that I thought he might have included in this video, and that is in the cast members' reaction to the Spider-Man trailer, there's this weird fleeting moment where Tom Holland goes, "Where's the ... And then he stops himself. And he says it on the shot where Spider-Man is jumping towards the three enemies. The one that he emphasized the most in this. I'll show it to you right now.
That was so adorbs.
Where's the... This is all my fault.
See that? What's he asking about? Where's the what, Tom Holland? Where's the what?
Oh.
He's asking about something.
Where's the...
He's talking about something. Maybe he's not talking about the two other Spider-Men, but he's saying something. Something's missing in that shot for him that he was expecting to see. We don't know what it is.
Cowbell.
Cowbell. Cowbell.
Where's the cowbell? We practice this every time. But it was interesting, Eric Voss bringing up that, because a lot of people's criticism with Tony Stark and Spider-Man is like, he's a child, let him live a child life, but he's an Avenger.
I don't know how old Tom Holland is, but he said something on I saw it on Collider that he doesn't want to continue to be Spider-Man for like
past 30.
25 years old.
25.
So we got five more years with Tom Holland being an Avenger. I can understand that. What's her name? Didn't want to be in Star Wars after 3 movies. She was like, I'm done.
Yeah, same with John Boyega. I think a lot of people don't want to get typecasted in it. You know, Harrison Ford didn't want to be in Star Wars past.
He kept trying to kill off Han Solo.
Yeah, so I get it. If acting is what you do, seriously acting, you want to be able to go about different genres, different movies, and different themes. And he's really done so much already with Spider-Man that I want him for a long time, but I don't think 5 years is a lot.
Yeah, I mean, he's doing other things.
Yeah.
He's doing Uncharted. You know?
We'll see. I know you're not looking for it.
The look on your face is precious. You're just like...
I'd like to see it.
I mean, he's a very capable actor,
Yes.
Hobbs. But yeah, I mean, I can imagine he'd get sick of it after a while. What he should do is do an MJ. Michael Jordan. He should do a Michael Jordan. He should like retire. That's what I associate with MJ. Like Michael Jordan retired, then came back, retired, and came back twice, I think. Retire. And then like everyone will be rooting for you when you come back to Spider-Man
Yeah,
again.
you can pull a Jay-Z.
Oh, is that? Okay, he's the one.
Jay-Z does the same thing.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm done with this music thing.
Yeah.
Then he's like, I'm back with Linkin Park, and everyone's like, huh, weird turn of events.
You guys, thanks so much for hanging out. Thank you, Eric Voss, New Rockstars, for allowing us to react to this. Very, very much appreciate it. Y'all, if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button, bell icon, all notifications, and please vote this up so that YouTube know you're enjoying what you're watching. I'm Jabby Kuwait. This is
Steph Sabra.
Peace out.